prompted to this exhibition going on in Beggar Camp. I am Martina Eteng from Slash Media, and I'm here to interview these guys who have been making an impact, really. So I want you to introduce yourself to people who are watching at home.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Taiwo. I am one of the twins, the artists, and then, well, that's just about. And my name is Kehinde, and most people call me Kenny. And like you said, I'm one of the twins, the artist, a Nigerian, and a painter as well. Thank you very much.
I see. So now we know. I was going to ask you, really look identical, and I was wondering. I must say that you guys know this will be a market strategy, because anybody seeing two people looking alike like this and doing the same thing will want to come close to them. Did you know it's going to be a market strategy or something?
Well, well, I just have to let you know that God made us this way, so I'm sure He has a reason for making us this way. So being a market strategy or not doesn't really come in, but I know any plan of God, it's always for good. So if it's a market strategy, then it's the work of God. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
I see you are really blessed for God to have put in so much talent in two people looking the same and talking the same. I congratulate you. But first of all, I would also like to ask you where you derive your inspiration to painting.
Well, first, we've started painting right from the start when we've been little kids. And actually, we've been really, really inspired so much by, first of all, by God, and secondly, by the kind of parents we have. They really did everything to encourage us. Then we went to school, we studied arts, and now the kind of style we're doing now, we've been quite influenced by those things around us, things very African life, themes and values. So I think that's just about it.
See, so you derive your inspiration from God, from your parents, and also the things you see in Africa. Exactly. That's very good. I would also like to ask when, I want to know your viewers out there to know when you started painting. Naturally, we've been showing this talent right from our childhood days. And I could say that since the time we came to realize ourselves as human beings was when we started painting. But when we have to talk about professional painting, that was when we finished school in 1985, and we came into the world, and we discovered we could stand on our own to show what God has given us as a talent to the world to appreciate. So professionally, we started painting in 1985, but naturally, basically, we started right from when we realized ourselves as human beings. Well, you're really blessed. I must say that what really brought us into this place is that when you see outside, a lot of people have been trooping in and out of this room. So we were wondering what is happening here. When I came in, I saw that it's such a very spectacular paintings you have. So I want to know where you derive this magic finger touch and all that success. A lot of people are really commending you outside and saying these are very nice, and I can see you're making friends in the process. So I want to know where you get your magic.
Well, there is no other magic outside the magic powers of God, the magical powers of God. Actually, as my brother rightly said, God created us this way and He gave us this talent. So the only magic behind this is just, God's grace and His gift towards us. And secondly, is about, every artist. Art is like music. You have reggae, you have pop, you have jazz. They are not all the same. Likewise, art, visual arts. So when you have a style that is you, that is your real self, that you can distinguish you out of the other people, then it's still part of the things that can really give you a distinctive attention from people. So I think, well, talking about the magic, I think God is the magic behind it. But he has the style and everything.
So are you calling God a magician or something? Thank you for that answer. So I would like to know how many because you look so much at ease. You don't look like new people in the first outing. So I want to know how many exhibitions have you done?
It's quite difficult to tell, but I think I could say this way, that our first exhibition was when we were in primary school. But why I say it's difficult to say is because an exhibition per se is when you show your stuff to people to appreciate for you. But maybe we should talk about professional exhibitions. That was when we finished school, and the first time was in 1988, and that was at the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IIT, in Ibadan. And since then, we've had a series of exhibitions within Nigeria and abroad, in Europe, in America. And now that we're in Nigeria for the past 5 years or so, we've been having exhibitions especially within the northern part of Nigeria, because we reside in the north, and the north has really influenced us so much. And because we're actually basically from the south, we've known so much of the south, so we decided to stay in the north so that we could acquire more influence, from.
Yeah, you reside in the north. Where exactly in the north?
In Kaduna.
And why did you choose Kaduna? Is it more lucrative to stay there? And I know that the Kaduna is not the center. Kano is the center of the north. So why did you decide on?
Unlike some other professions where you can rely on a place to survive, in your business, with artists you can live even in the bush and survive, because you could only have a base. But basically, an artist is a mobile person. He's as free as a bird, could go anywhere. But we only chose Kaduna just because Kaduna has a milder touch. It's a milder touch of the north, because it has an orientation of the mixed cultures of Nigeria, and it is still northern. So we gain a lot from the northern culture, which we've never had the experience before. And it's not really because art is lucrative there, that's why we decided to stay, but it's only our base, but we go around. Yes.
That's good. I want to know, we all know the economic factor in Nigeria does not really make people appreciate this kind of artists or paintings like this. I want to know how it has contributed in making you or marrying, your talents. I want to know how it has affected you.
Well, talking about the economy per se, I think the economy of this country has really affected all professions in the first place. And secondly, talking about art, I think the way God made artists, that's just the way God made art lovers and art buyers. See, like, there are quite few people who are artists here in the world. Let me say that. And there are few art buyers that are in the world too. And, art appreciation is in the spirit. It's kind of spiritual. It's not something you just feel, let me just buy to decorate my house. No, it's like it's part of you. It's like a way of life. So the economy doesn't really come in if someone really wants something. It's you. It's like you. If you want to dress well, you have to wear something good, and wearing something good will entail spending. So sometimes you just feel, I mustn't eat until I get this thing. So it pertains to art too. When you ask the art buyers, they will tell you a lot about how they feel about it. They always have this sense of belonging, sense of attachment towards art. So I don't think the economy has really affected art adversely like that, because judging through or by the way people appreciate art, you see they are elites, they are exposed people, they are rich people, let me say that, and they can afford anything. when people can buy a Lexus, a Lincoln Navigator, or a very expensive cars. So what is art? So, people have flares. They have, they call it obsession towards so many things: art, cars, clothes, music, and everything. So I don't think it has really affected art that much. So, but the way things are, I think, is quite encouraging, and we still. I know things will get better.
It's good to hear that, but I know that you can see here, you can see blacks as much as you see white. So I want to know what you think. Why don't our people really appreciate these paintings? That's why I mentioned the economy, and I'm glad to hear that. I want to hear from your brother.
Okay, thank you. Our people still appreciate art. They do. Maybe because their number is not as much as how the expatriates respond to it. But honestly, with our experience in art, Nigerians have been very, 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 very encouraging in buying artworks. And one thing I'd like you to understand is, you see, it's so spontaneous when someone sees something he likes. A spontaneous feeling comes from him that it makes him respond into getting the thing. It's spiritual. Art is very spiritual because it talks to your spirit. It's like music. So when you can be able to recognize what your mind desires, you go out of any length to get it. Most people complain that maybe because the economy is bad, that's why we don't see it that way. That is even the time people appreciate art the most, because it talks to their minds. It speaks to them. It's very deep. It's something you can't really explain. But when you talk to art buyers, they'll tell you more. But it's been very encouraging, even with the bad economy.
That's good. You see how much that question has dug into. It's like a bottomless pit. It's just going on and on and on. And I'm happy to hear all that. So I would like to... I can see that there are so many. We have teachers. There are plenty of professions out there. We have all of the oil. Everybody wants to work in the oil industry. And you people have chosen to do art, as the case may be. So I want to know how you feel about art and what you think art is all about.
Okay. Maybe I should cite this little example. Like sometimes when we talk to ladies about childbearing, we ask them, but how do you feel when you're going to give birth to a child, when you become a real woman? They say, they can't really get afraid because they are ready for it, and they are girls, they are ladies. I think God has put into each and everybody a kind of, let me call it an engine that makes you get adapted to what you're called for. If it's your calling, of course, you prefer even digging the ground than working in the bank where money is. Since when we were small, we've never liked any other thing but art, And I think the same goes with any other person too. There are so many people who actually read something in school and became something else in the future. Maybe that was because they read what is not their line in the real sense. So I could say that God made us this way. He made us like art because it is our calling. It is our God-given talent. Anytime we draw, anytime we paint, anytime we think about art, we feel at ease. We feel really good. We prefer it to easier jobs, to more lucrative jobs. So I think it's just natural. So I think it's our calling. Yes.
It's nice to hear that. I may like to get a little personal. I hope you won't take offense.
No, please go ahead.
Okay, I want to ask you. I can see that you guys talk the same. I don't even know whom to call Kenny and Tay. Which doesn't matter. I could call you Kenny. I could call him Tay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to know. If you want to get married now, won't it kind of divide you? Or are you married or something? I may not know that.
How can I start this? Well, being like this, being twins is, well, the way we see ourselves is just the way anybody, two brothers, like we are two brothers. We don't really see ourselves as twins, but we see ourselves as brothers or friends. We are only together by virtue of our profession, because we paint together and we do everything together. Not everything, but professionally we do it together. Well, so talking about marriage, well, when the time for marriage comes, I don't think it will really separate us like that. When two brothers can't be separated by blood, by their wives or anything. We can still manage. I mean, no. What I mean is, he will have his own wife, I will have mine. But we'll
Sorry, does that mean you are not married?
Well, for now we're not, but very soon we'll do.
You have separate girlfriends.
Of course, and I have to tell you that we are two different individuals. We might look alike, but I must tell you, I've never liked his babes. He has never liked mine, because we have different tastes, honestly.
But you paint the same thing, so is it only in painting you have?
Maybe that is why most people think our paintings are unique, because they are two different ideas merged together. One of us is deeper, one is more superficial. And it reflects in our paintings.
Do I ask who is superficial?
We should keep that to ourselves.
It's interesting to hear this from you. I think we should now move to your paintings and see them for ourselves. So, I would like to ask you again. I've seen there's a recent album from our media. So it's supposed to be launched very soon. I wouldn't say. So I saw that one of your art pieces on the cover of it, and it's so beautiful. And the album, I've listened to it. It's a compilation of many talented artists who are not yet in the market. Some are in the market, others are not. Many of them are not. And it's quite good. How did you come about this? How do you like that?
We must first say that we feel really honored that one of our works was chosen for the cover of the CD, because we've been actually interested in kids right from when we're small, like, kids too. Many people who really know us so well know that we are so obsessed about children. They're very spiritual. When you mix with children, you feel like a child too. And God says if you are like a child, you enter the kingdom of God. Not really because of that, but naturally, we love children a lot. And we've been looking for many ways to contribute our own quota into bringing up the lives of the underprivileged. So I must tell you that even choosing one of our paintings for the cover of the CD is not even enough. How we wish they could even demand some other more vital things from us. So, but honestly, we feel really honored.
Oh, I'm very happy to hear this, because that album actually is not somebody's album. It's just for the children of Mary's orphanage. All the sales are going to go to them. And I thank you for your kindness and understanding that your work can be used like that. I pray that the children of Mary Orphanage in Otukpo will be happy to hear from you. And I want to thank you on behalf of media and all its crew, and say you're welcome. But first of all, the last thing I would like to do is to move to the paintings, and maybe you can throw more light. Let viewers also see what I've seen that really brought me into this place. Here we are now. We are going to take a look at what really captivated our interest. And as the viewers can see, this is a baobab tree. Your painting is so nice. I want you to tell me what a baobab tree is all about and what made you to paint about baobab.
Well, a baobab tree is a very common tree. Baobab trees are common here in the north. Actually, since I came to the north, we've been quite fascinated about the shape and the size and everything that has to do with the baobab trees. So actually, there was a time we were traveling between Zaria and Kano. We saw this kind of sceneries, and were quite fascinated by the beauty and everything. So we just thought of one day that we should just put it down paint it out, and there's a kind of harmony that radiates around the people in the village where a baobab tree is. So that's just it.
I see.
Yeah,
so painting is really into your brain. So when you're traveling, also you're looking out to see what you paint about. I want us to move to, you have so many paintings. Do you really take time to sleep, or you don't?
When the inspiration comes, even if we don't sleep, we don't feel anything. But we depend solely on our inspirations. Yes.
That's nice. I'm seeing another one here that is catching me. You know, I am like a laywoman. I don't know. I'm seeing pots and ladies in the background. Beautiful colors. That's all I see. I want you to tell your viewers what this painting is all about.
It's called puberty. This is when, especially in the southern part of Nigeria, when girls just get into their period of puberty, when they become matured. There's always a time they all come out in threes, in the group of threes, for a celebration, because it's like welcoming them into the womanhood. So now they're happy, their lives and their physical bodies are being decorated, all the colors around show what's happening, and there are promises from the king of better things, to get in the futures. That's the significance of these calabashes, because there's still going to be gifts for them from the royal family. That's the meaning of the calabashes, and all the sweet colors around showing what is happening, the festivity and the joy of womanhood that they just got into.
That's nice. So I would like to know again, I don't know, this paper feels so good, and it's like it promotes your work. So what do you really use to paint your works? The colors and the paper?
The paper is called Japanese rice paper. We get them from Germany, in actual fact. They feel like tissue, but they're not tissue. Do you know the tea bag? The tea bag, that's the paper. Yeah, that's the paper itself. But this is a little tougher than it. But the Chinese are the ones that usually use this paper for their Chinese calligraphy. But we said we should adapt it into the African style. So we said, okay, let's use this paper because it could absorb so many materials, dye, acrylic, oil, and all that. So it's to create our own identity in the artistic world. That's why we're using it.
I see. And I noticed another thing here. These are beautiful write-ups. May I read this out for viewers? This is Temptations. And he said, "O goddess of temptation, what glory, splendor to behold. Thou rouse my passion to a boiling cauldron. Nothing matches your youthful ripeness. That contrast of milky skin and dark hair. That curving soft girl flesh newly come to maturity. The eyes inviting yet aloof. The dark lashes, the lip shaped for hot kisses. You zoo of female beauty, yet it is common knowledge. He who reaches too eagerly for the tempting fruit often falls and breaks his back." This is a very nice write-up, actually. I want to know who wrote this. You, or do you also write and paint at the same time? Let me ask you.
Well, actually, we're kind of blessed with a very spectacular and talented lady called Martina. So she made all this, and because she's very, very talented, I mean, she's like a blessing to us. God just brought her down through through his angels. So now we're just happy she made this, and we hope she continues that till we exhibit in Hollywood.
I see. It's a very nice. I hope next time she comes along with you, so we can also meet this act writing again. And now we come to this one. This looks like a market. You call it the Market Day 3. So you have other market days in your painting collection, So have you ever been to a market? You are men, rather. You don't go to a market. How do you know this is what a market looks like?
Well, it is not only when you're going to buy food that you go to the market. In our own case, we go to market to get inspirations. We go there to make sketches, to take pictures, and to study it, and then to decide to paint it. So that's one of the most reason why we go to markets. Yes.
It's really very, inspirational. Then this one, reading of the night. Can you throw more light on this one?
Yes. Also from the southern part of Nigeria where we come from, there is always a festival in the night where musicians would come out and dancers as well. So this is like making people understand that even in the north they can have a culture like this. So these are northern people in their northern regalia. There's a drummer, a dancer. They are supposed to be drummers, dancers, a trumpeter, a man with this musical instrument called shekere, and drummers there as well. So when the tension is already down, in the night, it is better. We feel it's better when music comes. It leads you into sleep. So it is a good rhythm in the night if people could come out and let people enjoy it. So that's the basic reason why we made that.
I can see some alhajis and hajias dancing around. That was really nice. And I would like to ask you another question, because a lot of people seeing this, I know it's not everybody who will paint, but there are people whom God has placed talent and blessing upon. What is your advice and encouragement to upcoming painters like?
Yeah, it's quite easy. One thing is, God doesn't create anyone empty. He has placed a seed right inside of you. So anything you're doing and you derive joy out of it, I think that's your calling. If you enjoy something, just stick to it and do it. Explore, go deeper, study it, and you excel. So I think if anyone has or discovers or recognizes he is our own talent, the only thing is the person should just go on and keep doing it. In the beginning it's always rough, but just go on and do it. One day you'll make it. That's just a little advice. Thank you.
See, so all you tell them is they should have patience and should continue doing. They shouldn't be deterred by what they see here and there. And the last thing I want you to, what is this? You said the beat goes on.
Yes.
What beat is going on? Is it the drumming or? I want you to say something about this.
It actually signifies the beat of music. We only represent music, with the drums. Of course, we can't show everything that is musically oriented. But now there are flows, rhythms of flows on this painting. That's to let people know that rhythm of the beat, the beat of music doesn't have an end. It goes on and on and on. Of course, you can't one day wake up and say that I can never like music again. No, even if you don't like the style of music, of course you must like the other styles. So the beat should always go on in a normal human being's life. So that's just the basic thing about it.
So what about all this?
Those are the rhythms coming out from the drums you're seeing there.
See, I see you're really talented, and I say thank you very much for giving Slash Media your time and everything you're doing. I pray that God will really increase your talent and income. Thank you very much. And for Slash Media again, Martina Eteng, I say bye-bye till next time.